Hurricanes are some of the most powerful and destructive natural phenomena on Earth. These massive storms, also known as the tropical cyclones, form over warm ocean waters and are characterized by strong winds, heavy rain, and dangerous storm surges. With winds that can reach over 150 miles per hour, hurricanes have the power to level cities, flood entire regions, and cause widespread devastation. While modern technology has improved our ability to predict and prepare for hurricanes, their impact remains catastrophic, especially in areas directly hit by the eye of the storm. Hurricanes begin when warm, moist air from the ocean rises. This rising air cools down and creates thunderstorms. As more warm air continues to rise, it lowers the air pressure in the area, and the storm then begins to spin. This spinning effect, known as the Coriolis effect, makes the storm develop into a hurricane. A storm becomes a hurricane when its wind speed reaches 74 miles per hour or more. Now, hurricanes are ranked by their wind speed from Category 1 being the weakest to Category 5 the strongest. While smaller hurricanes can cause damage, Category 4 and 5 can completely destroy entire towns and have long-lasting effects. Hurricanes are dangerous for many reasons. The strong winds can tear the roofs of buildings, break and uproot trees, and also bring down power lines. However, one of the most dangerous aspects of hurricanes is the storm surge, which is when hurricanes' winds push the ocean water into the land. These surges can cause serious flooding and damage homes and buildings. Heavy rains from hurricanes can also cause floods, even in areas far from the ocean. Additionally, hurricanes often leave people without power, without clean water, or without transportation, not only for days, but for weeks. And sometimes it could take months. Now, it can take years to recover from a major hurricane, and the economic damage can be really huge. Today, we will take a look at 3 of the most destructive hurricanes in history. The Galveston hurricane is the deadliest in the US history. On September 8, 1900, the Category 4 storm hit Galveston, Texas, with winds of 145 miles per hour, or 233 kilometers per hour. There were no satellites or advanced technology back then, so people didn't really have much warning about the storm. When the hurricane struck, it brought a 15-foot storm surge that flooded the city. Thousands of people drowned, and homes, businesses, and neighborhoods were destroyed from one day to another. More than 6,000 people died, and some estimates put the number as high as 12,000. The survivors faced terrible conditions afterward, with no clean water, with no food or shelter. As a result, the city built a seawall to protect against future storm. But the 1900 hurricane remains a tragic reminder of the power of nature. Hurricane Mitch is one of the most powerful storms ever recorded in the Atlantic. It reached Category 5 status in late October 1998 with winds of 180 miles per hour or 290 kilometers per hour. But it wasn't actually the wind, the one that caused the most destruction. It was in fact the rain. Mitch stayed over Central America for several days, bringing heavy rain that caused floods and landslides in countries like Honduras, Nicaragua, and El Salvador. More than 11,000 people died and 1.5 million people were left homeless. The damage to homes, the damage to infrastructure and farms was in the billions of dollars. Entire villages were buried under mudslides. Crops were destroyed and bridges were washed away. It took years for some areas to recover, and international aid was needed to help survivors. Mitch remains one of the deadliest hurricanes to ever hit Central America. Hurricane Katrina is probably the most famous hurricane in modern history. It struck the Gulf Coast of the United States in August 2005. Katrina reached Category 5 status over the Gulf of Mexico, but made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane near New Orleans, Louisiana. Even though it wasn't at full strength when it hit, the damage was still immense because the city's levees, which are structures designed to hold back water, failed, flooding most of the city. Katrina's storm surge flooded 80% of New Orleans, forcing hundreds of thousands of people to flee. Many were trapped in their homes or had to take shelter in the Superdome, a large stadium that became a symbol of the disaster. The storm caused around 1,800 deaths and more than $125 billion in damages, making it one of the most expensive natural disasters in US history. The slow government response to Katrina was heavily criticized, leading to changes in how the country handles emergency situations. Katrina also revealed issues of poverty, as the people most affected were often those with the fewest resources. As we close this file, we only have to think about hurricanes and how powerful they are. Even though we have better technology to predict and prepare for them, hurricanes can still destroy homes. They can still take lives, and they can leave communities in ruins. The Galveston hurricane, Hurricane Mitch, and Hurricane Katrina have all of them taught us important lessons about the need for early warning systems, better emergency planning, and strong support for affected communities. As climate change continues to affect weather patterns, the risk of more intense hurricanes grows. This makes it more important than ever to understand the dangers of hurricanes and be ready for them. Whether you live near the coast or far from the sea, the impact of these storms can touch us all. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a comment, give me a like, and please consider subscribing for more. See you in the next file of the Wild Worlds Files, and thank you. See you next time.